In this video, you're going to learn how you can leverage AI to write better emails in 2024. So without further ado, let's get right into it. There's going to be 5 things we're going to be covering. I'm going to go over the tools that you need to actually do something like this. I'm going to go over Clay, which is one of the tools that we're going to be using, and the use cases of Clay and how you can leverage Clay in your emails. And as well as I'm going to go over 3 use cases of Clay, whether it's personalization, lead scoring, and leveraging trigger events to write the emails. So make sure you stick around to the end, because I think this will be a fantastic video if you're sending out cold emails. And by using this, you'll be able to send out in the inbox. But first, why is this important? In 2024 now, cold emails, 2024 going into 2025, cold emails are now getting saturated. Anybody can spin up 20 new domains, 40 new email accounts, use Hormozi's $100 million offers format, and just start sending out emails. Like anybody can do that, excuse me. They can go to Apollo, they can scrape the leads from Apollo, they can spin up all these accounts, they can blast out the same messages, same offers to your ideal prospects. Now, this is why it's harder to stand out, because your ideal prospects, they're not being hit with the same offers and the same emails over and over again for the last 2 years. Before that, it was not like this. Before that, like 2-3 years ago, cold emails is very, very easy because not that many people were doing it. Not that many people knew you could send out this many emails a day. Not that many people even implemented Hormozi's formula. So now we're at a weird point now where it's gotten a bit saturated, right? Everyone's heard the same stuff over and over again. Your prospects have. They've heard the same stuff over and over again when it comes to offers. They're being sent out the same emails, the same templates over and over again. And so it just makes it harder to stand down in the inbox and book some meetings because they're just being emailed the same stuff over and over again. But there is a way to stand out amongst the entire crowd and write emails like you personally handwrote it for thousands of people in just a few minutes using AI. And that's what we're going to go over in this document, in this video. And I'm going to show you how you can do it using Clay and GPT. So we can get right into it. But really quickly, why should you listen to me, right? My name is Arn Norell. Me and my company Gamic Media send almost 100,000 cold emails every single month. And here's some of the industries that we work with, some of the offers that we work with, as well as some client results. You can go through my YouTube channel. You can take a look at all the case studies I have, and as well as some screenshots I have from just our clients. So we know what we're talking about. I know what I'm talking about, and I'm going to show you how you can do something similar to this for yourself or for your clients using cold emails. So the 2 tools that we're going to be using, like I mentioned, is Clay and ChatGPT 4.0. So Clay is basically a go-to-market tool, a GTM, that you can use to integrate with many different software such as ChatGPT, Apollo, Million Verifier, and so much more. We're going to use this tool to write our emails and use their built-in AI feature to dig up some information on our prospects. This is such a game changer because you can think of any sales platform that you have. Like quite literally anything. Apollo, Ocean, ZoomInfo, HubSpot, whatever like sales tool that you use, you can integrate Clay with. Clay has quite literally, and you can enrich it and you can integrate it with anything basically. And this is the tool that we're going to use to write our cold emails. The next tool is ChatGPT. Now, obviously, everyone's heard of ChatGPT by now. If you don't, I don't know where you live. But I want you to get ChatGPT 4.0. And the reason why is because 4.0 can be super in-depth on your prospects' websites. It can go super in-depth on their LinkedIn profiles and overall output you much better data. 4.0 is updated and uses newer data than 3.5. And so the outputs that you get from 4.0 are a lot better than the outputs that you would get from 3.5. So we're going to use ChatGPT. I highly, highly recommend you get 4.0. That way you can get the best data. Once you've signed up for both, so once you sign up for Clay, once you've upgraded to 4.0, all you need to do is connect your 4.0 API key to Clay, and Clay has a guide that you can go into and just basically integrate it with. So just follow Clay's guide, look up how to integrate ChatGPT to Clay. It's like less than 3 minutes, and you should be good to go. Now, I want you to do one thing though. When we're using ChatGPT, please use 4.0 mini and not 4.0 like regular, because 4.0 regular can get a bit pricey. I remember I was running a lead list for like 1,000, 2,000 people using regular 4.0 because at the time I didn't know. And so I was running a regular lead list and I ended up using like $15 on like 1,000, 2,000 people, which is pretty pricey in terms of API. The same lead list for 4.0 would probably have been like $3 or $4. So you can see how it can get expensive when you're reaching out to thousands and thousands of people. So when you're using ChatGPT, use 4.0 mini, don't use 4.0. Oh, went back to the freaking other page. But with that said, once you sign up for both, I'm gonna go over some use cases of Clay. So there are multiple ways that you can use Clay besides just personalizing an email. So if you've heard of Clay, everybody talks about, oh, the personalization, relevant AI stuff, right? There's more ways to use it than just simple personalization. Personalization is good, but there's just more ways to use it. You can use trigger events so that you reach out to companies when they get funded or if they're hiring for certain roles. So that's what a trigger event is. So something happens in the company, and so it will trigger that into Clay, and you can mention that in email. So for example, they get funded. They're like, you're pulling a lead list, and you're only pulling you're finding companies that recently got funded. You can use that trigger event to find a list of companies and reach out to them and say, hey, saw you got funded. Congratulations on blah 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 blah. That type of thing. You can score leads to make sure that you reach out to only companies who are a good fit. So you could essentially filter out your lead list even more and make sure you're only reaching out to a certain type of company. The possibilities, I think I spelled possibilities there wrong. The possibilities are literally endless, and I'll go over 3 ways you can use Clay to get your ideas flowing. Some of these use cases might not fit you exactly, and that's fine because everybody's selling a different service, everybody's selling a different offer or a different product, but you need to think outside the box to make sure they work for your product or service. So the use cases that I'm going to show you here is just to get your ideas flowing, just to show you the power of Clay and GPT combined. And like I said, it might not fit you directly, but you just have to think outside the box and be creative as the outbound person to figure out ways to make it fit for your offer or your service or product. So the first thing we're going to go over is personalization. So this is probably the easiest use case of Clay to use in your outbound messages. This is the most common amongst everybody that uses Clay, I feel like. And there's multiple ways to do this, but in this example, I'll show you how you can call out certain things on people's website to flow it into your offer. So for this example, we have a client, which is a video production agency that works with other SaaS companies. He helps SaaS companies make explainer videos, testimonial videos, and founder story videos. And here's a strategy that we used using Clay to pitch his testimonial videos offer. Now, what we did is we first uploaded the lead list onto Clay and normalized the company name. And this is free, by the way. So, just simple. Well, I'm not going to go too super in depth on this, but basically we just uploaded the lead list. And if you see here, it says company domain. You can normalize, basically, if you ever pull a lead list off of Apollo or wherever it may be, sometimes they'll have like Gamic Media LLC or Nike LLC. You can use Clay's built-in feature to basically get rid of that LLC using their, company format cleaner. And it's totally free. So you can literally clean up company names so that it makes it sound natural in the email. So the first thing we did is upload the lead list on the Clay, just normalize the names, right? Then we wrote a simple prompt to Claygent, which is like Clay's AI native web researcher, to see if this company had any customer testimonial videos on their website. So Claygent, like I said, is like their own GPT, I don't know how to explain it, GPT assistant, I guess. It's like Clay's own GPT assistant. And basically what we did, we were like, hey, and here's the prompt right here if you guys want to see. Basically just said, hey, go to this company's website and see if they have any customer testimonial videos. Because we only wanted to reach out to companies who had customer testimonial videos, or who didn't have customer testimonial videos on their website. If they already had it, I just said, hey, I'll put purple, but if they don't have it, just say good, right? So this is one way to filter out your lead list so that you only reach out to certain types of people. This is just an example. And like I said, this helps us dial down the lead list even more and get very specific with the targeting. In our email itself, we're going to mention that we noticed that they had testimonials on their website, but they had no videos to showcase them. And then from there, we can get into our pitch and say that we can help them shoot testimonial videos. And this is how you write truly relevant emails. So just think about it, right? You're a SaaS company, you're a VP of marketing, whatever it may be. Somebody hit you up and say, hey, I saw that you got really good results for Nike and you helped them, increase their revenue by 20%. We can turn your best testimonials, like the ones you had with Nike, into customer testimonial videos using our blah, 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 right? So if somebody sent you that, you'd be like, damn, okay, like he actually went to our website. He saw that we had a testimonial with Nike, or Nike left a testimonial, but he also noticed that, hey, we didn't have a testimonial video to showcase the work we did for them. This is a really good email, and he can actually probably help us do this. I'm interested, right? So that's how you really write relevant emails. Now, here's the prompt that we use for Clayzent, and essentially we just told it to go to the website, summarize the case study, and format it in under 20 characters. So literally all we did was once Clayzent said, okay, these companies are good and they don't have any customer testimonial videos, we basically said, hey, go to this company's website, find me a testimonial from their website, and summarize it in under 15 or 20 words. It says 20 there, but I think I changed it to 15 on the prompt. But that's all we said. So we just said, hey, here's a company website. Go find a testimonial from their website and summarize it in under 20 words. And the output was, hey, I saw that you guys delivered amazing results for a Fortune 50 company with 1,000 laptop rentals. This is decent, honestly. This is decent. You can mess around with the prompt, figure out like a good prompt for this, but essentially, this is just a high-level summary overview. And I also added a prefix here, hey, saw that you guys delivered amazing results for. And with the prompt, the more specific you are, the better, right? So one thing with Clay and one thing with GPT is if you can be a really good prompt writer, if you can give it a lot of background information and context, your prompts will come out super, super good. So provide it as much context as possible. Give it the company name, give it the company LinkedIn, because the more ammo that GPT has, the better and better the prompt can be, right? And so here's how we'd use something like this in email, right? Hey, name, I saw that you guys delivered amazing results for a Fortune 50 company with 1,000 laptop rentals. I don't even know what that is. We can turn your best testimonials like these into engaging customer testimonial videos to show off your product and build trust with future customers. And you just get in a case study and you get a call to action. So really all you're doing is you're saying, hey, I saw that you had this customer testimonial video. We can help you turn that testimonial video above into a video to show off your product. Show off your product or service. So again, this might not fit. Oh my God, this might not fit your product or service exactly, but if you have a product, or if there's something that you can gather from their website and you can input that data and then go into it, input that first line into an email, that's what's going to help you here. So if there's anything that you can like point out on their website, so for example, if I was doing something like real estate, I'll just give you guys some free game here. If I was doing something like real estate, I could easily reach out and say, hey, I saw that you had a property on this address. I saw that you're selling a property on this address. We can help you sell that home and the other homes you have on your website by doing blah, 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 blah. That's just an example, right? That's something that came off the top of my head. But if there's something that you can grab from their website and then mention that in your email and then transition that into your offer, this will work super good because it's super relevant, right? So that's use case one. So the second thing is lead scoring. So for all you guys that have done outbound before, have you guys ever spun up like a lead list and you reached out to them and you found that half of the people on the lead list were not even in your ideal client profile? Clay can help you solve this by scoring prospects and giving them a rating on how likely they are to be your ideal customers. This can come in super handy because it'll allow you to specifically only work with a certain type of company. So here's how. So to give you an example, if you're reaching out to real estate companies, like I said, there's no filter on Apollo to target real estate development companies. A real estate development company is kind of like the guy who, they're not selling the home, they're actually making the home, right? And there's no, it technically falls under construction, but construction can also mean like drywall. Construction can also mean anything else, right? It doesn't necessarily, if you put the construction in Apollo, it can mean a whole bunch of different things. But if you put real estate, it can just mean selling. So there's no specific ones for real estate development on databases such as Apollo or LinkedIn. There's only industries like real estate. There's only industries like commercial real estate. There's only industries like construction. We can use the scoring feature on Clay to specifically only reach out to developers. So once you've uploaded a lead list, you want to rate. Okay, there's a spelling error here, but basically you want to rate whatever criteria you're grading on, whether it's like their website, their LinkedIn, their company description, right? You basically want to say, hey Clay, go to this company's website and see if they're actually a real estate company. Hey Clay, go to this company's LinkedIn and see if they're actually a B2B SaaS company, right? And here's an example of what it'll look like, right? You have a general real estate campaign that you pull from Apollo. Let's say you have 3,000 leads. Out of those 3,000 leads, you get 10 positive responses, and then out of those 10 positive responses, you get 3 calls booked. Or let's say you pull that same lead list from Apollo, but you filter it using Clay. Your lead list goes from 3K to 1K. And out of those 1K leads, because the targeting is more specific, you get 25 positive responses. And out of those 25 responses, you get 7 calls booked. So by going narrower and being super specific with your targeting, you'll get better and better responses and more calls booked, because you can write the copy in a way that is specifically only for real estate development companies, for example. You can write the copy in a way that is specific only for that ideal customer. Do you see what I mean? So here's how you can actually do this on Clay. So essentially, you want to go to the score row function on Clay, and you want to put this, you can do as many as you want, but you basically want to put the row that you want, or column that you want to actually score for, and then you want to say, okay, if this company has, the keywords real estate development or developer, rate it out of 1 to 10, right? And here's the output that we got out of the domains, right? So say, okay, this real estate company is 0. This real estate company is 0. There's 0, 0, 0, and then 10, because they're a developer. It has developer in their website. And then you can filter it and just say, okay, delete everything else. You can delete everything else that's not a developer, and just keep the development ones and only reach out to those development ones, right? So like I mentioned, the biggest use case here is just getting hyper specific with your targeting, because you can filter out companies who have, let's say, a score of 7 or higher. 7 is good enough. 6 is okay, but if you're doing like the 1 to 10 thing, I would say 7 or higher is probably the best. Like I said, databases such as Apollo won't have like the minor niches on their website, so you'll have to grab a list of a broader industry and just filter it down this way. Will the total amount of leads that you'll be reaching out to take a hit? Yes, right? But overall, the ones that you do reach out to will be exactly in your ICP. And this just goes back to what I'm saying here. The total amount of leads that you reach out to will be less, but you'll actually be able to reach out. The people that you do reach out to are more qualified and actually are in your ICP, your ideal client profile. So the last use case I have here is leveraging trigger events. Now this is probably the most like complex one, and I'll do my best to explain this, but stick with me here, right? So with some services or product, companies only need you when certain things happen. So let's say companies only want your services when they get funded, or they're hiring for a certain role. You have like a harder product or service to sell. We've all been there, right? This is really hard. So like when something like this happens, you can't really find this on databases. Like there's no like, I mean, with Apollo, maybe you can find out companies that are hiring, but it's not always the best, right? Because there's just the tool isn't in there yet. But there is a way to do this in Clay so that you can only reach out to the most relevant companies that have certain news like this, right? Here's how. For this use case, we're going to reach out to real estate development companies in Miami who recently got approved for new developments. To find these companies, we're going to use a RSS feed. So you can think of a RSS feed as like a signal that lets you get updates from your favorite websites all in one place without having to visit each website. So usually these updates are in the form of new podcasts, blogs, or articles that the website has published. So essentially, for this example, if you go to websites that talk about companies that recently just got funded for a SaaS, let's say for example, you can pull the RSS feed and pull every article that gets published. So imagine like a blog or a website that every single week their whole job is to just publish articles of SaaS companies that recently got funded. So what you can do is actually pull that blog every single week and get the list of companies that recently got funded. For this example, all we're doing is going to a Miami real estate, let's say, development news website, where all they do is talk about real estate in Miami and development in Miami. What we're going to do is we're going to pull the lead list or pull the list of companies that recently got approved for development or news about new developments coming up in Miami, and essentially use that data to reach out to prospects. This can seem like a lot. Again, just bear with me. But if you want to use RSS feed, all you're going to do is go to websites that publish news about your trigger event and pull the RSS feed to use it and click. So all you can do is just ask GPT, hey, where can I find articles or blogs about trigger events that also have RSS feeds? So whatever your trigger event is, you need to figure out that first. Then once you figure out that, you want to go to websites or news articles or whatever it may be where they publish news about your trigger events, right? So I think it'll help if I actually show you rather than just talking. Once you found a good website to pull data from, you're going to use the rss.app to get the link. Just look up RSS feed generator and you should be good, right? So all you're going to do is go to this website and copy paste the section that you want to pull the data from. So for example, I'm going to go to Profile Miami and I'm going to pull all of these development news and put it in this RSS feed website, right? For example, since I only want real estate development news, I'm only going to input the URL for development, nothing else. I'm not going to put in commercial. I'm not going to put in events. I'm not going to put in residential. I only want development news in Miami. So I'm only going to input that specific section so that I can get all these articles. You guys can't see it, but like all these articles down here, the news from it every single week, right? Now, once you've done that, you'll get the link of the article. We now want to use Clayagent to go in there and find the companies mentioned in the article. So it's simply prompted to do so. So once you pull the RSS feed, you can just paste it in here and it'll pull out the link, right? And you're going to ask Clayagent, you're going to be like, hey, go to this article and find me the news of the company that just got developed. Find me the news of the company that just got funded, whatever it may be. Find me the news of the company that is hiring, right? And all you're going to do is say, hey, just output me that company. So it'll be like, okay, PMG just got company. So you can see here, PMG and Greybook secure $178 million in construction refinancing, and it pulled PMG, and so on and so forth. So once you've done that, you can also use Clayagent to find the domains of those companies, and so that we can find email addresses of the people that work there. Once you've got the domains, use Clay's built-in feature to find the jobs function and find people to reach out to. So all you're doing is you're just saying, hey, go to this article, find me the company name of that just got recently developed in this article, right? Once it's done that, you're now going to say, okay, find me the website of this company. It's not in the screenshot, but find me the website of this company. And once you found the domains, you're going to use Clay's built-in jobs function to find the people to reach out to. So all you're gonna do is, okay, you're gonna input the URL, and you're gonna put all the job titles that you want to reach out to, right? So I hope you're following along so far. We've pulled the data, we've pulled all the articles, we've found what companies are mentioned in that article that actually you want to reach out to, and then now we've pulled the websites of those companies, and now we're actually finding the job titles of people on those companies. This is a very advanced workflow, but trust me, this is how you create really relevant campaigns. And then finally, once you find people to reach out to, you can use AI to summarize the article that they were featured in, and then you can use that as a personalization. So you can be like, okay, using this article link, generate me a first line of a cold email summarizing the article, blah, 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 right? You can play around with the prompt, but here's an example that we use to get this output below. So it's like, hey, I just read an article on Profile Miami talking about PMG and Greybook's impressive $178 million refinancing for blah, 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 right? And again, mess around with the prompt to make sure it does not sound cheesy or robotic, but I say this output here is pretty decent, honestly. So all you're going to do is say, hey, just go to this website or go to this article and just summarize it and just, you know, congratulate them on funding or congratulate them on this recent news, or mention how you saw them on that they were hiring for a certain role, that type of thing, right? And then also prompt GPT to keep the personalization under a certain word count or certain threshold. This is because GPT can output you a bunch of information at once, and it can make it sound unnatural. You want to make it seem like you personally handwrote it, so keep it short and natural, right? So just say, hey, make it less than 17 words, make sure it has this, this, and this, and it should have whatever, right? So some final thoughts here is that in the world of cold email in 2024, it's more important than ever to be able to stand out from all the noise. Like I said, anybody can spin up inboxes and send out 1,000 emails a day using the same Hermosi offer. Your prospects are tired of seeing the same offer over and over again, which makes it hard to book meetings. But this is a good thing, as this means the best cold emailers are the only ones booking the calls. So implement AI in your outreach using these 3 use cases above and stand out in your prospects inbox. And if you are if you're an agency or any other type of B2B business that's making over $30,000 a month, book a time with me below and we'll book your next 3 qualified calls for free using some of the techniques that we talked about in this video. I hope you found this very valuable, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.